Here's a video of a student that is coming up to an intersection with a green light. It's a regular green light, and they're hesitating to get into the waiting position because of something that they're seeing in front of them in terms of oncoming traffic, and they know that they can't turn, but they're kind of not getting committed to the intersection either. So let's see what I mean here. So we'll go through this intersection. By the way, as I'm going through, or they're going through this intersection, what's going on in my mind as I'm sitting there in the passenger seat is, what are the walk signals telling me, right? It's a fresh walk signal, so I know, okay, reasonably sure that this light's not going to change on us because it's relatively fresh. And then we're coming up to make a left turn here, and I can see that there's 4 seconds left on this walk signal. Now, doesn't mean that just because it's going to go to 0, the light's going to change. I know in downtown Victoria, as at the time of this video, the walk signals were synchronized. So when it would go down to 0, the light would change to yellow as well. But this is not something you want to assume during your drive. You want to listen to what the light is saying. This is a secondary clue, so it's not supposed to make the decision for you, if you will. So as we're coming up here, and I'm thinking, why is the student hesitating to get into the intersection? Look, there's no one in front of us, like in our lane right now, and the light is green. So if I'm in the driver's seat, I'm not thinking, oh my goodness, there are all these cars here approaching and I can't see past this car. What I'm going to do, as long as the light is green, is get my back wheels in the middle of the crosswalk and keep my vehicle straight. That's my first plan, if you will, right? I don't want to start drifting to the left. I don't want to start drifting to the right. And I don't want to kind of just dabble here, right? So like, notice I'm going back a few times so you can kind of see what's happening here. So we're coming here and we're really slowing down. And then because we took a really long time to get coming to the intersection, now the light has gone to yellow. And so now we're making the turn, but we're making it on a red when possibly we could have made it on the yellow. Now, going back here, sometimes I tell students, you're hesitating to get into the waiting position, so the next time they speed up or they slow down late and then they overshoot their waiting position, right? So this is an intricate maneuver, if you will. You have to come in so the examiner doesn't get spooked that you're going to overshoot your waiting position. You don't want to go too far forward and overshoot and block the path of this car that's waiting to turn left. But we also don't want to come in too slow where, you know, it takes forever to get into the waiting position, because then if the light turns yellow, sometimes students are here and they see yellow and they're like, okay, I'll stop. And then we end up sitting in the crosswalk. And so sometimes I tell them, like, as we're approaching, I'm like, okay, lights turned yellow. We've left our stop line. Let's go ahead and make the turn. And they freeze up and they don't turn. And then we end up sitting here. I'm like, what should we have done? They're like, probably made the turn. It's like, yeah, I mean, we had left our stop line. And if we're coming into the intersection, we can't change our mind and say, well, I'm not going to take this one, right? We've committed to the intersection. We need to clear the intersection at some cycle of the light. So, you know, it's a good thing that we ended up clearing the intersection, because if we ended up possibly sitting over here or worse over here, then once this light turns to green, we're going to be in people's path. So the point I'm trying to make again is, as you're approaching, have a plan, right? So and the examiners tell you, like, okay, second intersection, we're making a left turn, or next intersection, we're making a left turn. And so when you hear that, right away, you should think, okay, walk signal is on, but it just went to a hand signal. How far am I? How many seconds is left on that walk signal? Okay, I'm coming up, it's a green light, I should get into the intersection. See, that was just so slow. See, get a feel for this, right? Why is this so slow? We don't, when the light is green, and sometimes this is what students think is, I need to stop behind my stop line and then go forward. No, when you have a regular intersection light, right, the 3-circle light, and it's a green light, and we can't go ahead and make a turn because of oncoming traffic or there's pedestrians crossing, not a problem. I need to get committed to the intersection. So I'll come in here, and I should have come in a little bit quicker and then make the turn when it's safe to do so. So watch your replays at the end of this video so you can get a feel again of what slow feels like, and then watch some of the other videos where it's done correctly, and so you can get a better feel for what is that appropriate speed to kind of come into the intersection. So as I always mention in my videos, there's a spectrum in everything you do in driving, and so you don't want to go from I'm really slow going into the intersection on a green light, getting committed to my waiting position, to I'm really fast coming in where everyone's spooking out about what it is you're doing, right? There is a happy medium that examiner is looking for, and it's not just the examiner, it's what is expected on the road, right? We have a norm of how we do things or how we expect other drivers to do things. And so the part of the learning journey is figuring out where that norm is and how to implement it into your own drive. So I hope you learned something in this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.